What did I suggest?
Alfred actually suggested a video
What did I suggest?
that we talk about changes, how to deal, and I think it's such a good idea because the video that was actually on my my YouTube page for a long time was actually titled "Dealing with Changes." I think it's still applicable, so I'll put it up here. But today, my name is Bella. Sorry, we jumped the gun on that one. This is our second video today.
So today your name is Bella. What was it yesterday?
Brownie now. Anywho, this is Alfred. Y'all know him. No need for introduction. Because by the time Alfred finishes talking, I'll still have to cut out the introduction because we'll talk for 5 hours. Today we're just going to be the big talk
Black
is
Nigerian
almost back.
Conference / Big
Everything
Talk.
is almost back. New year, new energy.
New energy.
We're getting in 2021 is a powerful year in our families.
We're getting married in 2021.
Yeah, we're getting married.
Not
her
and I. Like I'm getting married. She's getting married. But like,
I think they know. Go ahead. Go ahead now.
You have to put the cricket sound here. All right, guys. So today we're going to be talking about changes. A very interesting story. So, I was talking to my partner Bisayo, and I was just talking to her about like my girls. Like I have like girls and stuff like that, or used to have girls allegedly.
Yeah, girls.
I don't have any girls. My girls now are Zoe. That's my girls,
No.
right? So basically, the very next day, Bisayo comes to me and she's like, "Oh, Alfred, so." I was sleeping yesterday, but you're telling me something about your girls. I was like, me? I was like, I don't have girls. She was like, but you said you have girls. And I said, that was the old me. And she was like, babe, that was yesterday. And I legit said, and I'm very correct in saying, Paul said, I die daily. So if by tomorrow all our opinions are different, just know that we die daily. I want you to really think about 2020 because it's been a difficult year, right?
Yeah.
And then think about where you were this time last year and think about where you are now. Don't worry, I'll wait. You see how much change has occurred in your life without you knowing, right? Some good and some admittedly bad. Some people started this year completely single and they're married now. Some people started this year pregnant and now they have kids that are not letting them sleep. Some people started this year without a job. Now they probably have two. Some people started this year with a job. Now they're in between jobs. And you get what you're looking for in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Some people started this year without a business. Now they have a business.
Yeah.
You know, some people started this year hoping to get pregnant. Now they're fully pregnant and they're asking their husband to go and get stuff that
ice
does
cream
not
and granules
exist. You know, and stuff like that. And the thing is, we are so busy living our lives that we don't recognize how much our lives have changed.
It's true.
Over time. I was telling her a story of myself and my closest friend, Stephen Amaza. He was in town and we went out and we really had a good time, you know. And you know what happens when you have a good time? It means you spend money, right?
Why did you have to say that?
So we spent a lot of money and then we went back to my house and we just chilled. And I remember he was yabbing me because he was like, oh, we should check this stuff out on Netflix. And I was like, oh, I'll get a Netflix account, but for now I'll watch DSTV. Like, you know, we're bantering about stuff like that. I was really comfortable and I was really chill. And then at that point, I was looking at him and I remembered when 7 years before that, right, when we were still hustling and trekking across the whole of Maiduguri to do shows and living in an apartment that looked more like a store than an apartment, how we prayed for days like that, like days when we'll be able to actually go out and together spend what was an insignificant amount of money at this time, but at that time, that amount of money was like, man, if I have that, all my problems will be solved.
Yeah,
I can tell you for a fact that we still have problems, but then our lives have changed so much, but we didn't notice because we're so busy living our lives.
And applying those changes, like working for those changes without actually taking out time to acknowledge the fact that they're actually happening. True.
I mean, that day I was talking about I had a pot belly, and the time we were praying, I had 6 packs. So massive change. You don't realize that those changes, right? We have a way of assuming that those changes are external. So we assume that everything around my life is changing. No, it's you that is changing,
and
right?
You're affecting the things
around you. Sure. Or sometimes the things around you are changing and they're affecting you. But either way, you will not be the same person that you were 1 year from now. You won't be the same person.
It's good to acknowledge
and you have to acknowledge that, whether for the better or the worse. that's what's going to happen. Except your name is Jesus Christ,
Mm-hmm.
who is the same yesterday and forevermore.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to change. And then by the time you come to the realization that you have changed, how do you deal with it? Now, we're going to talk about two different things. One is realizing that you have changed and how you deal with it. And then realizing that people around you have changed and how do you deal with it. I'll give you a typical example. When we met, she was pregnant, but we didn't know.
Yeah.
Right? And then now she's married with a child.
Mm-hmm.
Right? At this time we know, we thank God.
Okay.
She runs a business, right? There was a time where she actually actively had a job. Like she had to go to work and come back and all of that, right? And in all of these times, there have been a lot of changes that she's not the same person I met at that birthday celebration over 2 years ago. She's not the same person. And we constantly have to adjust. When she met me, I was single Pringle.
Yeah.
You know, all of that.
At least in your mind.
I was single Pringle. I did not have a podcast. There was no content creation and all of that.
Yeah, you were working. You had your business.
I was working, I had my business, but I was an officer.
Yeah.
Should I be director now?
Yeah.
But I was an officer then. Like, look how far. So what I'm doing, I had more time on my hands then than I do now. Same as she. So before, I'll give you a typical example. Before, I'll call her and be like, oh, Bella, do you think I'm an enabler? She'll be like, oh, why would you think you're an enabler? We'll have time. Now we don't have time. When I'm like, Bella, do you think I'm an enabler? She'll be like, yes.
Yeah.
And that's the end.
Also, that has to do with our dynamic. We've spent enough time with each other now that we also don't need to walk on eggshells. Yeah.
Right? So all those things. But then you discover that sometimes your friends are changing. So before, you guys hang out at the pub. And now they don't want to come there anymore.
Yeah, they only want to hang out in
their houses. It's not.
Me, I still want to go out, Chad. It's just that nobody wants to go out with me because I have.
It's not. And I don't want to go out. Let me not lie.
Yeah, period. That's just a period.
If you don't like it, I will point you to the nearest transformer. My point is, but it's because it's not necessarily because they don't like you anymore or because they are proud. It's just because situations around their life now require them to unwind a certain type of way. Now, before, we blew off steam by going out for parties and having wild nights. But now, let me tell you how you blow off steam. By sleeping.
Yeah, and having a peaceful place in your
just
house that nobody is going to disturb
think about it. My job and my business, I have to talk to people all the time. I'm talking here, talking there. I finish, I go to church, I talk. How did you think I want to blow off steam by listening to loud music and dancing some more? I actually want to go somewhere where it's quiet, right? But then,
chill.
If in my mind I'm still thinking like, oh, this is not what is fun for me. What is fun for me is actually going out. I'm putting myself in trouble because I am mentally exhausting myself trying to be who I was and not who I am. Mm-hmm. 4 things that can change you really quickly. The first thing is your stage in life, right? So when you were a student, the way you saw the world was very different from when you have an entry-level job. And when you have an entry-level job, somebody is managing you and you're managing your time, right? When you get into a managerial position, you are earning more money, you're managing different people and managing your time. You begin to see the world completely differently, right? So let's say you've not gotten your first job and you're dating, and I'm saying this to a lot of people who are in relationships where you don't have a job and your partner has a job. Mm-hmm. And they tell you, I'm busy, I can't talk now. It's not because they don't like you. They're actually busy.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see them literally doing nothing. What you don't know is that their mind is thinking about so many things. Mm-hmm. And so I know a lot of people who are in relationships with people who don't have jobs yet, right? And they're frustrated because the people are like, you don't have my time, so you got this job. Because you just don't get it, right? And that can change the way you operate, right? Your stage in life. Mm-hmm. Another thing that can change you is your relationships.
Yeah. For sure.
And I'm not talking about romantic relationships.
Not romantic, yeah, for sure.
Right? So, for example, me, one of my closest friends, this one snatched me from that person, one of my closest friends, Kelechi. Kelechi is a food person.
I doubt Kelechi will ever watch this video, but shout out to you if you do, girl.
Okay. So, Kelechi is a food person. Now, before I met K, right, food was one of two things for me, either good or bad.
Yeah.
That's all. Like, I ate for sustenance. So, it was just Chicken Republic Chicken Republic, what do they call that? Their meal was good for me. Like, refill max, and I'm good. Like I just want it's rice and I won't purge. Then I met Kelechi. Kelechi is a food person. We started to go to restaurants. Started to talk to me about food. I started to watch cooking shows. I got introduced to steak. Yes, I was in my 20s when I got introduced to steak. You know, I got introduced to like fine dining, like proper China steak knife, and I started to appreciate good food. Now I'm not a food person like her, but I like to go to restaurants for like the ambience and other things.
Yeah.
But I mean, by the time I met Bella, we weren't so far apart in that. Do you understand? I started to associate with more people who like food and stuff like that. So those basic things were no longer there. I was becoming a different person just because of my relationship. Same thing with my job. We start to relate with certain type of people who like wine, who like a certain type of thing, and you find yourself okay
having the
in
knowledge
that knowledge to be able to expand your base and be able to like other things, right? So you change, right? And here's the thing: you probably, let's say before you like Power Rangers, and now you meet people who like Voltron, and you begin to gravitate towards Voltron. There are
had to. He absolutely.
I'm a nerd.
He had to. Like if he didn't during this whole video,
right? So what generally happens is what happens to your Power Rangers community in their mind, you know, you are changing.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You have to embrace the change.
You do.
The third thing is your financial level. Oh my God, I cannot explain this one enough to you. Your financial level. You see, I'll give you a typical example. There was a time when I'll speak for me. If I want to go somewhere and I stop a cab and he tells me, oh, it's 1.5, I'm entering public transport.
Yep.
Because that 1.5, what it will do for me for the next maybe 2 days.
By the time you even finish calculating it,
I'm just like, you know what?
Sometimes you even wonder, is this place I'm going to,
is it necessary?
Really
right?
Yeah.
Now, when they tell me 1.5, I'm just thinking, I don't want to have to be in a cab, dropping and going under the sun. All the time I'm going to waste and all of that when I can easily I'll pay the 1.5 and go. Right? And
there will come to a point in time again.
There will come to a point in time again where I'll just get to
1.5, just like
okay, cool, right?
Like without even thinking about
right?
it.
There'll come a point in time in my life where I'll just be like, you know what, I'm tired of taking commercial flights. I just want to buy a plane.
Yeah.
Right? It is my financial level. Now, there are people who, to the glory of God, I left on that financial level of now I'll easily pay 1,500 naira to go across anywhere in Abuja, right? Who, when you tell them that, they're like, why would you pay 1.5? You can actually go there with 300 naira financial level. To them, to those people, trust me, you seem wasteful.
Yeah.
But to you, you understand that
now
the opportunity cost, and you can afford it, and then the time and the energy that you're going to waste doing all of that is really not worth it, right? It's your financial level. And 4 is your faith in God, your understanding of God. There's them I was saying that I'm no longer going to be talking about religion and God with Nigerian youth because, like, your level of revelation is very, very different, right? And the deeper you go in your relationship with God, the more certain things become more important in your life
or frivolous, in your life.
And then those things, they come together to make who you are. Think about it, your level in life, whether it's your career or your marital status, the people you're associating with. And I need to understand, I need to begin to see how they intertwine with each other, right? So you get a job, you get promoted. As you get promoted, you start to network, you start to meet different type of people. Your association begins to change. As your association begins to change, you get promoted, the financial ability increases. Financial ability increases, you move out of maybe one location to another location. Your level in life has increased. You meet somebody. Do you see how you don't know it, but at some point, those bougie people, like me and Amaza, we used to laugh at people who wore suits and people who go to have jobs and stuff like that.
Now you are them.
I am them.
You are them.
Like, literally, I used to be annoyed at people who, like, once it's 9 o'clock, they want to go home. Like, why are you boring and stuff like that? People who just, like, focused on, like, Bible. And, like, it used to annoy me so much when somebody says, oh, we're going to have a fun time. It's family night. We're going to watch movies. You can't go to the club. Now, I am them.
Yeah.
Right?
We are them.
And those people. How do I balance it? Now, what will end up happening most times is a lot of people, they don't enjoy their lives because they are so busy holding on to the idea of who they were, right? And failing to embrace who they've become.
And in that who they were, when you're holding on to who you were, the person that person thought was going to happen in the future will be haunting you because you are not that person. So, for example, when Alfred was a rapper, he thought that by now he'll be touring the stages of all over the world, doing collaborations with the likes of Wizkid, Davido, MI, you know the vibes. At this present point in time, his past him would meet him and be like, bro.
Like literally,
really,
I've had this conversation so many times. Like, yeah, you're a snitch. So, of all the things you want to do, is now a boring office job.
Do you understand?
Like, you're wearing kaftan.
And you're going to visit a child.
Like, what is goddaughter?
Do you understand?
Like, do you get
like you're committed to another human being. Like you're in a full-on
like
serious
let me tell
relationship.
you, 2012 Alfred would be so 2000 Ola Black would be so disappointed in Alfred Black, but actually so disappointed because I'm not supposed to be thinking about marriage right now. I'm supposed to be jumping from model to actress. Right, and I'm supposed to be like, you know, that's literally what I was supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be doing like an entertainment empire.
One thing is that if you were even still the person, if you were going based on that, you wouldn't have even ended up with Sarah.
Yep. But guess what?
Because she'll not have ended up with somebody.
You think that one is good? I'm a pastor. Do you know how
do you know the contrast?
Do you know how I used to look at pastors?
It's like me and not motherhood, but like it's like me and a lot of the aspects of motherhood that sometimes like the people close to me see, but like I'm in denial of. And it's because my personality has always been one that has been very sarcastic. So certain things that are like really intimate, I've just never seen myself doing them. It's actually the way I feel about my relationship romantically as well. I just have never seen myself moo-mooing for people. And I'm moo-mooing for 2 people.
I thought it was 3.
Who's that? God as well.
Busaya.
Oh, Busaya, true, fair enough. I moo for her. She makes me emotional. Anyway, carry on.
Do you get so? And that's the
so
thing.
So does Demi, by the way, in case Demi is watching.
Hi, Demi.
Demi's like the love of my life. Anyway, carry on.
So yeah, basically you keep holding on to the idea of who you were supposed to be, and you keep trying to force yourself into that. Bro, your knees are bad, your back is bad, you have headache. Go and sleep. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Right? It's okay to be a new person. So you keep struggling with that, and it gets worse because there are certain people who stayed true
to themselves from 2012 to 2020.
Right? So
I'm not mad.
I'll give you a typical example. I don't take alcohol. I used to take alcohol. I don't take alcohol anymore. Right? And I get guilt tripped.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in conversations where literally you see people who take 6-7 bottles of alcohol of beer a day and smoke at least 4 to 5 packs of cigarettes. Sit down and tell me why coke is bad for my health. Yeah, think about that. Like he will not watch this video. Even if he does watch this video, shout out to you. Amasa still thinks I'm a sellout because I don't take alcohol. Like it upsets him. And so the people who have stayed real to themselves, right? Yeah. They make you feel like a betrayer for actually evolving, for actually becoming a better person.
That's
right?
The thing.
So you guys used to club and now you can't stand clubbing because you really want to go home to your husband and go and cuddle.
Yeah. Somebody has actually made a comment to me before about like basically trying to say something like, because me, I enjoyed my youth, so I can't lie to you.
I don't know.
Like I was not
outside of your youth.
I was not in the streets, even though I don't even know what that means. Like, I rescind that statement because that's actually condescending to say. I was in the streets, you know, and stuff like that. I basically had a good experience, romantically and otherwise, with people around me. Friendships, relationships, situationships, and etc. And like now that I'm in a committed relationship and like happy in that relationship, somebody was actually like, well, you know now, no, but the way you are, you understand? No. You can't now. You can't be this kind of guy. You're not this guy. Yeah, like this is not how we are. I'm just like,
how many times have you?
Baby,
it's you.
Who are we?
Speak for yourself.
Who are we? Because I had my time.
Own who you are. And now the second part of it is, what do you do when people around you are changing?
All right, guys. Do not forget that you are sugar, you are spice, and you are bomb. But jello fries. I don't want to say ass. I mean, I still said it.